That's right, guys. Atrium is releasing fragrance number 6 titled Mr. Radiance. This is going to be our summertime fragrance in our new 5 fragrance lineup of having slightly more mature, more expensive fragrances for the mature, refined gentleman. This is going to be a very interesting release. So you guys are aware that we used to have 5 fragrances in total overall beforehand. We released Mr. Fragrant, Mr. Romantic, Mr. Maritime, which was our previous summertime release, Mr. Majestic, and now Mr. Elegance. So Mr. Fragrant and Mr. Elegance are the mature fragrances I'm talking about. They're a bit more mature. They're kind of in their own category of fragrances from Atrium. They were designed by master perfumer John Stevens. So eventually these two are going to come back into our lineup. In most likelihood, it's not a guarantee, but in most likelihood by the end of the year, probably around the end of the year, they'll come back. And Mr. Radiance is in a similar ballpark. Designed by master perfumer John Stevens, we wanted to create a summertime release that is very easy to love, but sort of fits that more expensive, luxurious, slightly more mature side of things that we're going for as a brand in Atrium. I have a bottle right here, guys, which you're seeing on screen, but bear in mind, this is a placeholder bottle, guys. The real bottle will be a different color. It will be a white bottle, actually, like the actual bottle glass itself will be white, similar to our design with Mr. Majestic. And that is because actually the juice itself is going to be green, as you can see in our sample here that we have from John Stevens. And it's, you know, that white bottle is sort of masking that green juice, because I don't think the green color necessarily gives away exactly how the fragrance smells overall. It's an aquatic scent. I'll let you know that straight away now, but it does have a hint of greenness in there, and you'll understand why the juice itself is green. It indicates there's a certain natural in there. Also, it's not going to be this lid that you see on this bottle. It's going to be the heavier lid we've used for Mr. Elegant and the new atomizer we used for that fragrance also, but it's going to be a silver colored atomizer and lid, of course. So the presentation is going to be more luxurious to match our new higher price tag that we inevitably employ with these releases that are just more expensive in general. So enough blabbering on. You guys can see I've got my little green sample here of Mr. Radiance. You can see the very obvious green color I was talking about before. So what are we doing with our second summertime release? This is going to be replacing Mr. Maritime, by the way. By the time this comes out for pre-order, Mr. Maritime will be taken off the website, and we'll just have Mr. Radiance to pre-order for 5 days only. Mr. Radiance, what I wanted it to be was basically, I was kind of feeling a little bit sad because we're going to discontinue Mr. Maritime, and this was a fragrance that was very loved. I loved it, and so did the community in general. It was a mango aquatic scent, something that was never really done before. We didn't like the fact that aquatic fragrances were sort of being neglected by the industry. Mango is a great note that wasn't really being utilized, and also summertime fragrances for men were generally not very long lasting. So Mr. Maritime aimed to remedy all these things. They used mango. It was an aquatic scent, and brand new aquatic scent finally that we don't really get much of anymore these days in the market, and it was long lasting. It lasted around 8 to 10 hours with a medium projection is what I got. And essentially Mr. Radiance is going to aim to do the same thing, but sort of elevate this idea even more. Just because I love the idea of Mr. Maritime so much, I kind of didn't want to depart from it completely. So I just wanted to elevate it and make it even more incredible, basically. And after some time developing this, it took it didn't come together straight away, had some issues initially. I think we have landed on the perfect DNA. Let me spray it on my skin and tell you guys what the scent profile is like. So you guys can see the notes on screen right now. We got top notes of lemon, lime, and orange, mid notes of aquatic notes, Elemi, as well as mango leaf absolute, and in the base we have oud, ambergris, and patchouli. Hopefully this note breakdown excites you guys. I'm smelling it right now in the air. The opening is absolutely beautiful. This is a gorgeous fragrance that is complex. It has that John Stevens distinct iconic smoothness in his fragrances. If you like Mr. Fragrance, Mr. Elegance, you'll love this scent as well. This fragrance overall starts off with this citrus cocktail opening. It's more natural than Mr. Maritime, definitely. The lemon, lime, orange are just a beautiful concoction of citruses that are really uplifting, invigorating, natural, as I said. Very easy to see how this is a summertime scent. And as the fragrance dries down, you appreciate more of the really star notes in this DNA. And I think they kind of always are there. Base notes aren't just base notes, guys. They actually have their own top notes as well. So the base notes are always there, always have some presence in the fragrance. And you can definitely tell that the mango leaf absolute is here, especially in the air. I think up close, you'll smell mainly the musks and the citruses. In the air, you'll notice that this has some resemblance to Mr. Maritime. It has a mango quality to it. It has the ouds, and the mango leaf absolute as well gives a sort of leathery feel to the fragrance. It's sort of thick, luscious, rich, while still smelling summery, and still smelling very masculine also. The oud gives this sort of warmth, woodiness, this complexity, this fuzziness. Real oud is used here, guys. This is Cambodian oud that comes alive off your skin. It smells rich, expensive. Cambodian oud is considered one of the less challenging ouds out there, but you can definitely tell it's there. It has sort of like a cedarwood, woody, no profile to it, but still smells a little bit fruity. Some people describe it as, has some spicy facets to it. It's very multi-layered, warm, complex. And as the fragrance dries down, you start smelling very expensive musks that I believe John Stevens has used here, as well as the ambergris gives a very salty marine aspect to this fragrance that sort of comes off your skin very nicely. This has a very beautiful dry down also. It's very musky, warm, salty. It has that ambery aspect in there from the patchouli and from the ambergris. This smells expensive, extremely unique. It's kind of like how I would describe the difference between Creed Aventus and Aventus Absolute. If Mr. Maritime is Creed Aventus and this is Aventus Absolute, or if Mr. Maritime is the original Leighton, this is Leighton Exclusive, let's say. It's the more rich, luscious, just more intense and exciting version of the fragrance, but you spend more money to achieve this. This is our most expensive compound yet. This is an Extrait De Parfum. It's 25% of a real oud. So it's going to be a £160 price tag fragrance for 100 ml, and you might say, oh, that's expensive, but actually I think we're probably undercharging for it. If I'm being honest with you guys, this should probably be at least 180 pounds, maybe even if it was in a brick and mortar general traditional store, it'd probably be a 250 pound fragrance. Bear in mind, this is 100 ml for an Extrait De Parfum of real oud. So I still think we always try to, make sure you guys are getting good value for money, and I think Mr. Radiance continues that tradition. I get around 8 to 10 hours longevity with a medium projection, so similar performance to Mr. Maritime. I think this is a fragrance you can wear mainly in the spring and the summer, and I think you wear it in the autumn time as well. It has enough warmth and thickness and character to go into that season also, so I think you're getting, again, good value for money by having good wearability with this fragrance. Who would I imagine wearing this? So I've actually gotten a lot of compliments with this fragrance already so far. I got some big compliments, and the people who complimented me said that they imagine a more mature man, maybe a 30-year-old is one of the compliments I got from from a girl I was seeing, and I think this fragrance is a little bit more mature. Definitely, that's what we're aiming for, but it's not as mature as Mr. Fragrance and Mr. Elegance. Mr. Fragrance and Mr. Elegance is definitely more mature. I'd say Mr. Elegance is probably the most mature fragrance we have in Atrium for this new line so far, then Mr. Fragrance, and then Mr. Radiance. So it's more accessible to you guys who, if you're worried about the fragrance from ourselves being too mature, I think this will be more up your alley. It's definitely got more rich, luxurious vibes. If you want to smell more like a luxurious individual, let's say you want to smell like someone who owns a yacht in the summertime, this is probably the fragrance for you. It definitely has a richness to it, which is what we're aiming for. It is the ultimate version of something like Mr. Maritime. It hasn't been done before. I don't think there's a single mango aquatic oud out there on the market. So I think, again, a new idea is being born here. We are the first ones to be doing something like this. Mr. Radiance is a creation I'm very much proud of. I think it's a fantastic development of what Mr. Maritime started off. It's not as tonka bean heavy or sandalwood heavy as Mr. Maritime. It's more complex, has more smoothness, it smells more rich, thick, luxurious. And I think a lot of you guys will really love this. I'm very proud of this creation. So if you want a fantastic summertime signature that achieves something new, is long lasting, again, keeps pushing the fragrance industry forward in our own way, we try to do what we can. This is the release for you. And bear in mind, guys, of course, with all pre-orders, you get a complimentary sample, a spray sample, which lets you try our fragrances first. If you don't like the sample, you can just return the main products sealed to our warehouses and you get a full refund, so you can try before you commit. As I mentioned before, guys, there's a likelihood this will return at the end of the year. It's not guaranteed, so make sure you go and get a pre-order in the 5 days that you can pre-order in the end of May. These are the only 5 days you can pre-order, then the option to acquire Mr Radiance on our website will be taken away. And bear in mind, if you want to get Mr Maritime again, guys, on the 27th of May, when this goes on pre-order, Mr Maritime will then be removed from the website. So that's also your last remaining chances to get Mr Maritime. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What questions do you have about Mr Radiance? Is there anything I can answer for you? If you do have any questions, let us know in the comments down below and I will try my best to get back to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you so much for supporting Atrium.